AskReddit by Ranga Best Pup. If you magically obtained millions of dollars in cash, how would you deposit it without causing suspicion? This is called money laundering. You set up a business that reasonably takes cash, and you report the business making more money than it does so you can funnel the money using the business. Big illegal operations will usually have several money laundering fronts to avoid suspicions. ZZZ accounting next to Paul's laundromat. You don't. Just keep it dry and enjoy your forever supply of grocery money. Go out to eat, buy normal shit like shoes and jeans whenever you want. Get extra guac and queso. Easy on the guacamole or you might be poor again real soon. Don't deposit it. Spend it wherever you can on household goods. Buy stuff in shops in cash like the good old days. Yup, pay contractors in cash and whatnot. Keep your credit card spending roughly the same so on paper you haven't changed. In America, any cash transaction over $10,000 is automatically flagged and a report is sent to FinCEN. Thing is, they get so many reports every day that they don't look at 99% of them. The law came out in the 70s I think when $10K was a lot more. They've never updated the threshold. However, if you try to avoid that report by only doing $9,000 a day or week or something like that, that gets flagged as structuring, which also gets reported to FinCEN and those reports are much more likely to be investigated. Kinda weird. Used to work at a bank. The best chance in this scenario is picking out a random older person's obituary and saying that you visited them and kept them from being lonely in their older years and on their deathbed they revealed they had tons of cash laying around they had been hoarding. If the FinCEN gets investigated they would probably check to make sure that person actually did die via obituary, but they don't have the ability to go interview people to make sure you visited that people, and they would have no interest into getting into inheritance because that's sticky and way more resources than they have. Make sure the genie gives me a receipt. Take a picture of the genie and the cash and him handing it to me. Get him on video explaining it's a magical gift. Deposit the money into a normal bank. Pay taxes on it. Maybe get famous because of the whole magical genie thing. IDK. I was looking for this comment. As long as you pay taxes on it, the IRS wouldn't give two shits I would imagine. There's even a checkbox to add illegally earned income on your end of year taxes, no? Speaking from experience, I'd try farming. You can pay cash for all kinds of inputs and just keep doing that until you're bankrupt again. This. Just get a horse. You'll be poor again pretty fast. Email random people from across the world saying you're a Nigerian prince. I'd say that when I'm at the bank with a straight face. If I'm charismatic enough, they'll giggle at it, deposit it, and go, you're all set. Have a good day, Your Majesty, and I'll tip my fedora or something to them. If it is illegal money, keep it under your mattress and spend it little by little so as not to raise suspicions, and look for a way to launder it. If you obtained it in a legal way you will have no problem in justifying its origin and being able to deposit it in a bank. Obtaining millions of dollars magically wouldn't be illegal. More realistically, if a stranger walked up to you on the street and handed you a bag with millions of dollars in cash, that also wouldn't be illegal. In both scenarios you would have all sorts of problems justifying the money's origin. Magically. You can just say drugs. It's drugs. Okay, so find a few acres in the wilderness, buy that empty land, wrap money in plastic, dig some holes. Am I cartelling good poor? Pay everything I can with cash, use actual income for other purchases like house and car. Agreed. Gas, groceries, clothes, and restaurants in cash. By opening a nail salon run by Vietnamese ladies and a laser tag store in Albuquerque, NM. Make sure you have a pretty damn good lawyer too. One who has expertise in criminal law. The address of my laser tag service will be 1216 Rosella Drive. 1 year after Magna Carta, so I don't forget it. $1 million in cash doesn't actually take up as much space as you'd think. If you keep it in large nominations, it will be more difficult to spend. Also, with an amount like this, you kind of don't just want to make small purchases. I would once again use magic in that situation as well. Drive to Florida. Charter a private plane boat to take you to the British Virgin Islands in the Caribbean. Form a business and deposit the money in the business account. Get an international credit card tied to the account. Get a cruise ship ride back to Florida, because it's cheaper than a chartered plane. How do you go through customs when you land with that much cash? How do I launder money, eh? Lol, right. My first thought was they need a think tank on a new scheme. That's a problem I don't have to worry about. Art. This is really the only answer. This is how the billionaires do it, and have always done it. Everything else in this thread is exactly how people get caught. All the billionaires get involved in art and philanthropy because it is the least risky way to do things with money that would get a normal person arrested. Art collecting is how you move money around without the financial system seeing it. There's no digital footprint if I ship $1 million painting to my buddy overseas. Philanthropy is how you bribe people and exert power. You don't give Hillary Clinton $10 million to get something from the president, you donate it to her vacation charity. I wouldn't. Sure, I'll miss out on investment opportunities and earned interest, but nobody questions if you have a few $100s in cash on you at all times. Launching a business to funnel in the cash as startup funding would be my strategy. It's a legitimate way to account for sudden wealth, giving the impression that the income generated is from the business's success. This method not only masks the origin of the money but might also turn into a real, profitable venture. If I magically obtained millions of dollars in cash, I ain't depositing shit. I take a week off, buy a big heavy safe, rent a jackhammer, embed the safe in the foundation of my house, and just buy everything with cash the rest of my life, and just paying my bills with my work stuff and the rest going into retirement. I would retire in less than 10 years after all my debts are paid off and have an easy breezy life. Buy lemonade at lemonade stands. Cash only business. Consume the lemonade. All of it. Go back and rob the kids. Take your money back. Infinite lemonade hack. Also buy those stands and keep some grapes. Former bank employee. Banks have systems in place to catch suspicious activity involving large sums of cash. They're required by law to file a report with the government when people deposit or withdraw a large amount. Depositing just under the limit, $10K when I worked there pre-banking crash, multiple days in a row will trigger a report. A certain prominent politician molested me as a child. This is hush money. I'd really prefer not to talk about it, thanks. I'd consult a financial advisor and an attorney to ensure compliance with laws. Gradually depositing small amounts over time into various accounts and investments might be wise. Additionally, setting up a legitimate business as a front to funnel the money through could help in making the large sum less conspicuous. How many millions? $464 million, roughly. Asking for a friend who, by the way, people say is the greatest Friday. Now really smart successful people at the top of their field will say ISFTA definitely didn't and everybody says it. Fields. Big massive tracts of land. Isn't it great? I heard them say it, they all say it. Big hands. The biggest, hugest, they'd ever seen. Nobody has hands like him they say. And so, $464 million cash. Legitimate. Nobody's seen cleaner money. Not even wrinkled. Spotless.